Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TechRise. This week is one of our special weeks where we focus on a specific neighborhood in Chicago, and we're once again bringing back founders from the North Lawndale community. This week is sponsored by two family foundations, the Staines Family Foundation and the Morrison Family Foundation. For those of you joining us for the first time, I am Desiree Vargas Wrigley, the Executive Director of TechRise by P33. TechRise is something that we built in partnership with Verizon to help support Black and Latinx founders all the way from idea stage to exit. And we're really focused on how do we support founders who are, maybe having an idea, thinking about something, but also those that have been in the market for a while and need some acceleration and some visibility to our community of investors and judges and customers. So each week, 3 to 5 founders take the stage and they pitch their business to 3 judges who then ask them a bunch of questions. And then the judges deliberate real time and decide who's going to win the prize. And today it is $50,000. So it's a really big one. We're excited to have some amazing founders here. And as a quick reminder, anyone can apply to be on TechRise. You can go to techrise.co/apply. We take applications all year long, and we run the normal season runs from February until November with a grand finale in December for $100,000. And with that, I'm going to bring on our judges. So our first judge is a returning judge and our good friend, Samir Mirza. Samir is co-founder and executive director of Fifth Star Fund, a venture philanthropy fund enabling the city of Chicago to be the friends and family of Black investors of Black tech founders. Previously, he was the CTO and co-founder of the mobile advertising leader Tap Commerce in New York, which was acquired by Twitter for $100 million. I don't think we added that last time. That's such a big exit. At Twitter in San Francisco, he was head of engineering for a mobile app promotion and led the engineering team that grew the product's annual revenue to $300 million. And then he moved to Berlin, where he taught coding and at the, I don't know how to say that, Ready School for Refugees, and was an EIR for Techstars. So Samir, it's so great to have you back.
Awesome to be here. Thank you, Desiree.
Next, we have Matt Cruz. Matt is a corporate communications professional with more than 15 years experience leading best-in-class social responsibility and sustainability programs across financial services, retail, and e-commerce industries. He's currently head of social responsibility at Groupon, headquartered here in Chicago. And Matt's team is responsible for helping Groupon build amazing communities through a formula of employee do-goodery, responsible business practices, customer collaboration, and nonprofit investment. Matt, it's great to have you joining us too.
Thanks, Desiree.
And then finally, we have Sarah Ford, a claims innovation manager of strategic partnerships within Allstate. In her role at Allstate, she pioneers disruptive models and partnerships with startups that improve the digital experience. With 10 years of industry experience, she serves as a strategic partner in business problem solving and human-centered design thinking. Sarah is also the creator of Woke Chicago, a social impact startup that shares trauma-informed mindfulness tools in under-resourced communities. So Sarah, it's great to have you here too. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck.
All right. And with that, we are on time, which is rarely true. I also want to mention that we have a special guest today during our deliberation. We have Andy Zopp joining us from Cleveland Avenue and the Cast Us Fund. So please stay tuned so that you can learn all about this incredible fund that is here to support our city's founders. Okay, so our first founder coming to the stage is going to be Christine Griffith from the Brown Girl Project.
Hello, hi everybody. Do I just dive right in?
Yeah, do you have slides?
I do, absolutely. Let's get going.
Okay, I'll let you know when I can see them.
Okay.
It looks like you're good to go.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for having me. My name's Christine, and I'm actually a founder of Black Brown Market by Brown Girl Project. I moved to the west side of Chicago 2 years ago and bought an investment property. Then the pandemic hit, forcing me and my family to really examine what was and wasn't around us. Many neighborhoods on the south and west side of Chicago are consumer deserts that need greater access to goods and services. There are also resource deserts, especially for Black and Brown entrepreneurs. And while co-working spaces are not hard to come by, it is hard to find space that appeals to a diverse group of entrepreneurs. Additionally, site selection for businesses, both big and small, are often guided by risk aversion and even bias. Yet data indicates that moving into underserved communities is actually quite profitable. The solution, Black Brown Market, is here to help level the playing field in a meaningful way by making it easier to access a network of professionals and build customer connections, as well as letting culture and community lead. We are putting Lawndale and west side of the community in a different position. Black Brown Market will be the first hybrid that marries the benefits of co-working as well as access to retail, dining, and a network with a well-designed space. We lead with our subscription-based model, which is digital-first approach to connectivity, community, and members for anywhere in the country. Black and Brown Market also offers 3 types of membership: individual, retail, as well as office. Our brick and mortar space is over 15,000 square feet and will act as a hub for both small businesses, a food hall, coffee shop, and event space, and hopefully the West Side's first rooftop environment. Our partners are positioned to attract Chicago's local businesses and the best of creative talent here in Chicago. Our space and amenities are designed to support culture creators. Our membership perks also allow for things like digital podcasting, business resources that span from e-commerce and web design to PR and marketing strategies for go-to-market. Our mental health and wellness workshops and AI beauty also separate us from what's already in the market. Black and Brown Market also takes a proactive approach to aligning entrepreneurs and micro businesses with mentorship, corporate partnerships that help build more successful businesses. We've identified that freelancers and contractors will continue to spread their entrepreneurial wings, and even more in a remote and flexible environment. We're also looking at corporations, We're also looking at corporations who are looking for more organic ways to engage in our community. Companies like Shopify, Salesforce, and even the company I currently work for, Affirm, are looking for a remote first strategy. Black and Brown Market needs your help to get these doors open so that they'll have a place to go. We know that the competition is out there, and the truth is there are less than 56 Black-owned co-working spaces in the entire United States, and that's a small fraction of the what will be 6,000 by the end of 2022. We're looking to build meaningful relationships, We're looking to build meaningful relationships, not just where you can feel safe, but also where you are looked at as a source of innovation and not just looked over. My team and I have a combined experience in sales, marketing, media, web design, and advertising of over 20 plus years. Together, we are building a winning brand with meaningful value for our end consumer. Our go-to-market strategy is built on trust of the neighborhood, trust of the community, and trust of the people who are looking to participate in what we do. Sorry about that. In the end, oh my gosh, You're
good. No, you're good. So go.
Thank you. Sorry. More businesses are being born today, and they know the barriers and hurdles of building a successful business. And Black and Brown Market could help generate an additional 1.6 trillion today to help Black and Brown businesses.
I got to cut you off so we can bring some Q&A in, but don't worry, you did great. And the judges, if you come on and ask a few questions, that would be great. You can go presentation off, please.
Sure.
Samir, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, happy to. Thanks, Desiree. Christine, that was a wonderful, wonderful pitch. Thank you for building this. It was wonderful. Actually, more of a clarifying question in terms of your progress so far. Did you say you actually have a space already in place? So I was kind of curious the current state of.
Yeah. So we are working with a developer, and we do have a space secured. It is a space that is one part new development and one part renovation. So we're looking to help with owning the bottom portion in conjunction with the top renovation space.
Awesome, great job, Christine. Really loved all of the kind of metrics that you brought forward. I'm curious to date, what's been your biggest challenge with doing this? I also have a COVID-born company, and there's challenges. And to that challenge, how are you kind of pursuing rising above or kind of exceeding that challenge?
You mean from understanding the new landscape that we're in post-COVID with all of the different restrictions? Sure, of course.
Like a challenge.
I mean, there are tons of challenges, and we recognize that there are things that we have to overcome. But as we examine what the workforce and what entrepreneurship looks like, in a COVID world, post-COVID world, we are understanding that, engagement still needs to happen. People still want that connectivity. And while maybe being in an office setting will not be as traditional as it was, being able to leverage a network of people who do things outside of maybe what your core responsibility is will be even more important, right? Because people are you can work in tech and you don't have to necessarily work for a company now. You can be a freelancer and you can be independent, but having resources and connectivity to build places where you can continue to have job structure or access to jobs that you can do and consult on is still going to be a vital source of the continuation with supporting these people.
Wonderful, thanks.
Christine, great work on your presentation. I love the name of your organization, and I love some of the value add things that it sounds like you're hoping to bring to this particular business. I guess, what did you learn from looking at other, we won't speak of their names, but other co-working spaces and the value add, the perks that they tried to add to their businesses, which were oftentimes things that were more social in nature, I think.
Yeah.
You mentioned things like workshops and mentorship. How do you see kind of leveraging the network of partnerships and relationships that you have in a way that really drives that value for new customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first part of that is, I definitely visited co-working spaces throughout the country before I even started building this out. And there were some things I was immediately attracted to, and there were some things that gave me pause. So even when you think about just leading with culture, a lot of the times I didn't really feel welcome. And I think that inherently was something that was not attractive to me. Then the other side of the coin is the fact that, I was always leaving my community to find resources that I felt should be standardized. And that was also something that gave me pause. Most people don't live in a close proximity to the places that they're going if they're going to a co-working spaces. You got to go downtown, or you've got to go, 5 to 6 miles outside of your community. I think the other thing in terms of looking at amenities is also just considering that the amenities that I find beneficial are a little bit more in line with like culture centric. So,
I gotta cut us off. I'm so sorry. So sorry, but you did a wonderful job, and you communicated all of this. So great job. Thanks so much, Christine. And next we're gonna have Box Lunch Cafe and Jerry Budwick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before I pitch my elements, I would like to introduce myself.
Wait, real quick. I think your video is off still.
I do apologize.
No worries. You're good to go.
My name is Jerry Budwick. I own the Box Lunch Cafe, and I'd like to introduce my journey before I get into the elements. I was born and raised in North Lawndale / Garfield Park area. I studied at Roosevelt University in healthcare and also in finance. My husband was the VP of Zenith Corporation. Some guys wouldn't know what Zenith Corporation is, but he was the VP of that corporation. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I started my food service business at the U.S. Postal Service in 1995. In 2019, I started my health food service business at the Home and Square Community Center, which is in the North Lawndale area. And a year into it, the Chicago Park District asked me to come to the Home and Square Park District. And that was I started there from 2010 to 2017. The service was a great part of my journey that I was doing. I was providing healthy treats for the kids there in the park. In 2017, Kevin Sutton and Laura Lodi asked me if I could open up a healthy treat cafe in Nichols Tower, which was the old Sears building years ago, right on Arlington and Holman. As of today, my business is still planted in the Nichols Tower. Along with the long-term resident, I'm a homeowner here at Home and Square, and I'm also a member of United Power, NLHOA, and NLCCC. My goal as a member to those organizations is to help sell and develop 1,000 homes in the North Lawndale Home and Square area. And I'm sorry that I don't have showing and other things, but this was a kind of last minute thing for me.
You're doing great.
Diabetes and high blood pressure is my platform. In 2003, Sinai Urban Health Institute did a survey of 10% of the North Lawndale area that 18-year-olds to 75-year-olds reported that they have received a diagnosis of high blood pressure. That is the percentage of the people that was diagnosed. What about those that have not gone to the doctor to be diagnosed to have this problem? Sinai Urban Health Institute was awarded $1 million to screen the North Lawndale homeowners community, but that was in 2003. As of today, high blood pressure and diabetes is taking over our community. Remember, the project was called the North Lawndale Diabetes Community Action Program, NLCAP. As of today, 2001, the problem still lies there, which is a big problem for our community. One liner, I would say, reach one, teach one. That's my goal. And by me working with the inner city youth, I have a business at Home and Square Park District, which 200 kids come through there every day, ask me questions about life in general. But what I'm trying to do, I would like to focus on the boundaries. The boundaries would be south of Cermak Road, east of Homan Avenue, west of Costner, and north of Roosevelt. You may ask, why this area? I selected this area because it's the center space of the community that have a larger numbers of homes within that boundary. My team and I, what we will do, we will flood this area with flyers, social media, because I do interact with at least 500 to 600 kids a week.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off,
teach
Jerry.
them at a young age about high blood pressure and diabetes. And I'm gonna do that through social media.
Wait, Jerry, I gotta cut you off and bring it on the judges to ask some questions, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Jerry. That was great. I'd love to actually learn a little bit more about how you would use the funds, potentially from the TechRise prize to kind of fund your business, or even other investments you would raise later on. We'd love to just understand kind of your strategy for the funds you would like to raise.
Okay, what I would do, I will hire inner city kids because I have a good relationship with the kids to help with the social media, and also flood the city with flyers and eating healthy treats, and to show that their peers can eat these treats to reduce high blood pressure and also this diabetes. All of that leads to heart disease, and heart disease, high blood pressure, all of that is killing the community. In order for us to build these 1,000 homes in the community, we have to have a healthy community. Sick community, we can't build on it. Questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. So I love the work that you're doing, because also it's like yoga is so connected to this as well, with the healthy eating. And I'm curious, like, what are the snacks actually? Like, what is the content of the food that you're providing?
By me dealing with the after school kids, and they always have given them treats, it would be the veggie chips, it would be the kettle chips, and also I have different varieties of smoothies that I mix for them with the vegetables that's in it. And they really take to that. We're talking granola bars, we're talking yogurt, we're talking Italian ice that's sugar-free that I do have. So different snacks, and they do like those snacks, but I need to pass it on more than what I'm doing, because I don't have the funds to get out there or to hire the youth to do it. And as of today, I do hire school-age kids to kind of help me do things around my business as of today. But
I love to connect offline too, because I'm working with some students in North Lawndale.
Great.
So yeah, I love that.
Great. Yes, we can connect.
Hey, Jerry, thanks so much for your presentation. I just have a question about how you would use the prize money, kind of going a little bit further. It sounds like your primary goal is to use it to expand for advertising, marketing, expand to hire students to help you out. what additional expenses do you see incurring if you are hoping to get more snacks? So in other words, how much more would you spend on food? Would you be able to scale up to be able to help enough kids to combat the illnesses and raise awareness like you're talking about?
Well, like as Sarah's into the yoga business, to eat healthy costs more. I would bring on new lines of smoothies. I would bring in more healthy turkey sandwiches. I would try to introduce the kids to kale. I would try to introduce them to different other kiwis, and we don't know about different fruits. In the Black community, we only know apple, oranges, and pineapples and grapes.
Sure.
We don't know about the other different fruits and those costs. And I would use the money towards providing inventory to build for the business, to provide the kids, to expose them to other things besides flaming hots. The kids in the community is saturated with flaming hots. Some of the kids come there with their fingers red from eating flaming hots. Intestines, it's killing them.
And I have to cut us off. I'm so sorry, but I empathize. I have a 9-year-old who likes Takis, and I'm like, we got to get the
exactly
anymore.
Just imagine Takis with peppers on it and cheese.
I think Takis are hot already, and I'm Latin and I like hot. But, thank you so much, Jerry. This was great. You did a wonderful job. And I just want to say it takes a lot of courage to come on stage for the first time and pitch something for the first time. And you did an excellent job. So thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Next, we have Sanctum joining the stage and Bobby Price.
All right. Give me one moment. I'm going to share some photos here.
Great. I'll let you know when we see it. All right, we see it.
You see it? All right. Do you see me?
I do. You're ready.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you, guys. COVID has given us ambiguous loss and separation. Collaboration and in-person meetings in inspiring spaces still needs to happen. Let's say I know someone named Marissa who has 2 children and works in the neighborhood. She needs to have personal and work meetings, and it's not wise to have these meetings at home because it requires cleaning and there's COVID concerns. I was born and raised in North Lawndale, and there are not options to meet in North Lawndale for these meetings. If Marissa lived in River North, she would have an abundance of locations for co-working and meetings. She and the other 30,000 working creative residents in this area in our community should not have to commute to River North or the West Loop to have a single meeting. And that's why I'm starting Sanctum. Sanctum will be North Lawndale's first space for day meetings and collaborative co-working and after-hour businesses. It's bookable by the hour, flexible online scheduling, easy door entry codes with free Wi-Fi. The best part of this, there's a version of Sanctum already happening in my shop. I've had a great opportunity of working at great spaces in the West Loop and hotels as a barber. That gave me the opportunity to see how beautiful spaces impacted my clients' creativity. Since I've opened, I saw how people loved my space and there was a demand to have meetings there. Now, I want to formalize this and make it better. Just by renting my space after hours for meetings, I generate an average of $900 a month, additional to my barbershop revenue. That's just phase 1. So phase 2 would be, once I prove that a space like mine is in demand, I'll teach others who already have spaces and existing businesses how to build a sanctum of their own. We'll provide the technology and the backbone to the experience, like the booking, payments, door code systems, and so on. They'll provide the space and we'll split the revenue. So in order to make this work, I need to improve my website, software for booking, locks, security. And the best part about this is I already have a team. I have friends and hair clients that are already in the field and are ecstatic to help me. One is a systems integration specialist, and the other is EVP and marketing data strategist at the largest advertising agency in Chicago. Right now, co-working is now $26 billion industry. My strategy is to get an average of 50 co-workers paying up to $35 a month, earning me an average of about $1,700 a month. And we plan to raise $200,000 by beginning of second quarter 22 for programming and staffing. If I can get help to make this happen, there will be a massive ripple effect and possibilities. Imagine all the hundreds of meetings and great ideas that will come from people connecting in unique spaces. And all those spaces will become a sanctum. Thank you.
Great job, Bobby. You can go ahead and go off presentation mode and the judges can come on.
Thank you, Bobby, for your presentation, and love the name as well as the value of space and bringing people together. Yes. Actually, about kind of how you plan on getting like the word out regarding marketing, getting people in. Has it been kind of organic right now, and kind of yeah, how do you actually want to get people in the space and expand once you get everything built out?
Yeah, no, actually, I will leave that to my marketing team. They're great at it. These guys have been doing this for years, a decade or so. And so right now it has been organic. This idea came about because clients asked to use my space and after hours, after my doors closed. And so it was organically built in that way. It's actually been an idea they've been asking for 3 years. And so I'm just now pushing on it.
Bobby, I love the presentation, love the concept.
Thank you.
And just very proud. I'm like, man, I would love to have a Sanctum, currently working from home. So I'm curious, like, what other funding sources are you looking at aside from this fund? Like, if you don't get this money, what else are you pursuing?
I'll be calling you all after this is over. So whatever it takes, I will pursue whoever can help. Honestly, that's the whole purpose of getting on this. And I thank Sean for just throwing me back in this to see if we can make this happen again, because I'm passionate about it. And this is just the start. Like, being in North Lawndale is only, this is just a small window, because I only got 4 minutes to explain what it is, but gotcha. Obviously it's more about helping other businesses throughout the city to use their spaces after hours, and or people who have locations and rooms in their house, mainly for folks who don't want to stay overnight, or book a room through an app, as we know, and you just need a spot to drop your bags off and once you're done with your hotel.
Hey, Bobby, great job on the presentation.
Thank you.
I'm curious about the current, you said currently you're bringing in about $900 a month on average with some of the renting you're doing. About how much of that 900, what percentage of that is that of your total outlay for current, your own rent or mortgage, other expenses, things of that nature?
Well, on being open right now for 3 years, it's been rough as a barbershop in North Lawndale. And so there's not a lot of expendable income, but I'm fortunate enough that people want to use my space, just using other apps to rent out my space, and folks who would pay to use the spot. That on top is mainly revenue on top of my barbershop. That goes, everything goes towards bills, but I actually don't make a lot of money in barbering right now. So that money is going to bills at home. So it's considered like my revenue. It's what I have to do to survive and keep my business open.
So I guess a more specific question is, how much is your rent right now on a monthly basis?
Oh, my rent here is $1,300.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have time for one more question, or Bobby, if you have anything else to add.
Go ahead.
I guess I was just wondering about signing up for, like, when, let's say this goes, how do I book? Are you using tech?
Yeah, so right now I'm using a system. It's a POS system that I have already, that once I've had clients or folks who visited me on my email list, I would send them out an invitation, because it started out as invitation only.
Perfect.
And so they pay monthly.
With you after this, because if you don't, there's opportunities.
No, absolutely.
To get in tech, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the whole idea. So I have a team that's ready to help in this ways. However, they all have families and things, so they're ready to make it happen. It's just that right now I'm just using what I have.
Great. Well, Wonderful job, Bobby. Thanks for coming back on last
Thank you.
minute. Just so you all know, there was a space that opened up suddenly. And so Bobby came back on. He's been with us for a previous North Lawndale. So it took a lot of courage also to come with less than 24 hours. But we're glad you're here.
Yes.
All
Thank you.
right. And next we have Marcus Literacy, or maybe it's just called Marcus now, but joining us. And yes, sorry, it's Marcus Literacy Project. And Robbie Curry is from the Marcus Literacy Project. I'm sorry about that, but we're ready for you.
Perfectly okay. Thank you all. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, and we can see your slide, so we're ready when you are.
Thank you. 3 years ago, I saw my older brother for the first time in over 10 years. As our day played out, we found ourselves in a government office building where he needed to submit some paperwork as a resident of a new state. As we sat at a table, I watching him and him looking over the documents, I knew it instantly. My brother was illiterate. Now, by this time, I had spent 10 plus years as a teacher, principal, and state education official, and nothing had prepared me to see firsthand the life trajectory of a person who did not learn to read. Therefore, I was inspired to create a video game to support 4th through 8th grade struggling readers become proficient readers while also developing a love of reading. Here's why. 2 out of 3 students in the United States cannot read proficiently, and those who do not learn to read by 3rd grade are statistically unlikely to learn and are more likely to exhibit one or more of these outcomes. But here's the problem. Because we expect kids to learn to read by 3rd grade, we stop teaching kids how to read by 3rd grade. Thus, the current market offering underserves this population in 3 critical ways. The first, the current market was not designed for older struggling readers. Number 2, for products that were designed for this population group made a critical false assumption that kids had the foundation in order to handle more rigorous content. And 3, the most important, and any educator who deals with the middle school population will attest to this. When we use these products with this older age group, it embarrasses them. They disengage in the learning process, therefore rendering these products ineffective. Our solution combines learning science and interactive gaming experiences to support the approximately 12 million students who show up to school every single day struggling with reading. Marcus is a video game designed to allow the player's personalized avatar to become the main character in the video game narrative. Moving across a visual novel, the character interacts with a series of mini games designed to provide individualized content based on each player's needs. As a result, Marcus offers a highly engaging, emotionally supportive, adaptive learning experience that all kids can play. The market opportunity is undeniable. The education gaming market is $1 billion industry. There are approximately 12 million students between grades 4th and 8th for whom this product can apply. I have a wait list of over 300 plus educators, administrators, and parents who are excited by this product, and my traction as a company has been steady. I was a finalist for Techstar Chicago Summer Accelerator. I'm a featured company on the platform We Make Change, which has allowed me to recruit volunteers of video game programmers, writers, and designers, which has helped me build out my first product milestone, which I'm excited to say that as of this week, we have a mini demo of one of our video games designed to expand kids' vocabulary based on the stories that they read. It is our vision that by 2050, every kid who graduates from a U.S. public school will have the literacy skills required to approach life with joy, confidence, and dignity. And I have no doubt that I am the right person with the right product to make this happen. Thank you.
Great job, Robbie. Okay, judges can come on.
Robbie, that was great. And thanks for sharing the screenshots. I feel like I want an invite to play the game. It looks super cool. And congrats on the milestone also this week as well. I was curious to learn more about your market entry in terms of like the paying customer. Are you selling into schools or districts? Like who's the actual paying customer of the product?
Yep. So the paying customer will be school districts. I think this is the place where we will have the largest impact in order to scale. My process of doing that to date has been the following. I tap my personal network in the beginning in order to start building a clientele and getting interest. And this is where that wait list has developed. I am proud to say that based on that wait list and the groundwork, if you will, that I started, have access to over 3 million students for whom this product will be readily available at the time of its release.
Hey, Marcus, yeah, Marcus, right? Or is it Robbie? Oh,
Robbie,
gosh.
Robbie,
Okay.
yes.
Sorry.
It's perfect.
It's
A lot of people do that. It's perfectly okay.
Yeah, loved your pitch. I was immersed in it as well. I really like what you're doing. I guess I'm wondering with this, like, let's say you won this prize money, like, can you go into a little bit more detail on what's going to take place with these funds?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've been most proud of is the partnership with We Make Change. And I currently have a team of programmers, designers that are working for free. However, that partnership has been able to reduce costs significantly from the total cost of building out a product. And I think I've been able to save approximately $200,000 just on volunteer work. The $50,000 will allow me to do several things. Number one, bring on a psychometrician that will allow for us to add the assessment component to our playable demo. The second is to then fully build out the prototype and then finalize the website where it will be housed to allow for a freemium version to be released in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
Hey, Robbie, love the presentation, super tight. I liked how you kind of kept everything right front and center. And as the others mentioned, the visualization was great. I might be kind of dense about this, but how would kids actually use this? Is it on their phone? Is it on a device? Is it on a PC at school?
That's a really great question. So most students in schools have direct access to either a tablet or a desktop computer. And so the current iteration of the build out will support across those two platforms to allow kids to have easy access to the actual video game.
So they could take it home if they had a tablet that they could bring home and had Wi-Fi access, et cetera.
Exactly. And so the idea here is that there should be a very limited access to the actual video game. And so as long as kids have access to a hardware, they would be able to access the actual video game.
One last quick question. As a former teacher, educator, what would you think about if you were a teacher and this came into your classroom? Would you be open to using this as a tool?
I would absolutely welcome it. I think one of the teachers differentiate for the range of learners that are in their classrooms. And what this product allows for us to do is to allow teachers to do what they do best, is teach. But because it's a digital platform, it's able to individualize instruction across all the learning needs within a classroom profile, therefore making the teacher's job a lot easier.
Awesome. Thank
you. Good job, Robbie. And you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for coming back. And next we have our final competitor. We have Olatunji Obai Reed from Equiticity. How'd I do? Did I say it correctly?
You said it correctly.
Perfect.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll let you know when we can. Do you have slides today?
Yes.
Great. I'll let you know when I can see them. Looks like you're good to go.
All right. What happens when we turn on the power and equity moves like electricity through our homes, our streets, our neighborhoods, and our cities? Equiticity, power plus equity is greater than. No more a powerful story. A powerful example of this is that approximately 60 years after slavery ended and 35 years before the institution of lynching came to a close, In 1925, a Black man organized the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. This group of railroad workers became the first African-American labor union and overcame impossible odds, transforming our society and moving Black people closer to freedom. Hello, judges. My name is Olatunji Obai Reed. I am the founding president of the Equiticity racial equity movement. Through our work to operationalize racial equity, I am also the founder of the Freedom and Culture Bicycle Cooperative. The Freedom and Culture Bicycle Cooperative will be the first worker-owned cooperative with a social mission, manufacturing premium quality bicycles as a vehicle for workforce development, job creation, and wealth generation here in the North Lawndale neighborhood on the west side of Chicago. There are 4 problems we are seeking to solve. First, the beautiful, predominantly Black North Lawndale neighborhood with all of its assets has a poverty rate of over 40%, an unemployment rate of over 14%, a neighborhood safety ranking of 54 out of 77, and an overall health ranking of 38 out of 77. Second, there is a spatial mismatch between job seekers and the job centers. Thirdly, compounding racialized inequities of transportation over policing, sustained disinvestment, all exacerbated by the pandemic, has exponentially increased harmful impact on North Lawndale. Fourth, the pandemic has significantly disrupted the bicycle supply chain. Our solution is the Freedom and Culture Bicycle Cooperative, manufacturing bikes in the North Lawndale neighborhood explicitly designed to remove the generational cycle of poverty, create jobs, and provide transferable and career-oriented job skills to young adults, reduce hyperlocal violence, and improve the health and transportation-related outcomes, all focused on this neighborhood. Our solution is also designed to serve as an additional source of bicycles for the US market, helping to close the gap, the vast gap in supply and demand. We will manufacture beautifully designed, well-built, and premium priced bicycles in the North Lawndale neighborhood with young adults from the neighborhood who are all worker owners of the cooperative and who share in the profits. Our go-to-market strategy. A strong proxy for the growth of the US bicycle market. The Bicycle Retailer Industry News website reports a 100% increase in e-bike imports from 2018 to 2020. Our go-to-market strategy begins with thoughtful development of the cooperative, intent on iterating slowly over time, beginning with a small production run and defining a narrow target market. We have an amazing team with over 100 years of experience. With your investment, we will hire a business manager, do additional fundraising, create partnerships, establish our branding ethos, rent space and equipment, prototyping, and establish our first production run.
Thank you, Obai.
I'm going to welcome Obai. Let's ride for freedom and culture.
Good job. All right, let's bring the judges on and you can go presentation mode off.
Wonderful. Thank you for the presentation and also the focus on the worker co-op and sharing of the profits as well. You kind of touched on this at the end, but we'd love to hear a little bit more about the team that you have in place, kind of your backgrounds and the capabilities of the team that's there right now.
Sure. Our team includes UIC professor Stacy Sutton. She's a distinguished scholar on cooperatives. It includes it includes Ishmael Adams. He's a product designer with years of experience, including designing bicycles. Juan Dominguez, an experienced welder and fabricator. Dan Shawman, a bespoke bicycle builder, and myself.
That's awesome. Really great work. I'm curious, have you received any funding help from anyone else? yet, or do you
not.
have plans to? Okay.
We have not. We're in the idea stage right now, Sarah. This is a concept that I've been incubating for upwards of 5-6 years now, and excited to launch.
Yeah, will you do another pitch competition, or what's the plan for funding if this doesn't happen?
Certainly, we will continue to seek additional capital from all sources. And I welcome the opportunity for the judges to introduce me to any of your colleagues and networks who may be interested in our work.
Mm-hmm.
Bai, I love your energy and your passion for this product. That's great to see. You mentioned supply chain issues, and that kind of brought to mind like the actual bike itself. Do you have a prototype already built? And if so, like how much will one of these bikes cost you?
Sure. We do not have a current prototype at this time. However, in my previous work, we did build a prototype type bike with some of the same people who are on our team now. This is our intent is to build a premium price bike anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500. We want our narrowly defined target market includes people who want to support their commitment to racial justice by their spending.
Got it. Thank you.
We have time for one more question, or Obai, if you have anything else to add. All right. Well, that was excellent. Good job. And great job to all of the founders presenting today. Judges, we're going to say goodbye to you for a little bit so we can have the unenviable job of deciding who wins today. And with that, I'm going to invite Andy Zopp or Andrea, I'm sorry, I should say your full name, onto the stage. So Andrea is a managing partner at Cleveland Avenue, and she leads the organization's work investing in and developing minority and women-led entrepreneurs and their companies. Previously, she was president and chief executive officer of World Business Chicago, the city's economic development organization, as well as for the Chicago Urban League. So Andrea, it's great to have you here today.
Thanks, Desiree. Nice to be here. Great job to all the entrepreneurs. The presentations were awesome. I was taking a lot of notes.
Yeah, they did a wonderful job today. Hopefully some of them can come pitch you later. So you've had an amazing career supporting Chicago founders and our ecosystem as a whole. And can you tell us a little bit about what made you make the change from World Business Chicago over to Cleveland Avenue?
Yeah, so I've been basically working in economic development and expanding economic opportunities, particularly in communities of color, for over a decade, starting with my time at the Urban League. Where we were working on creating jobs, but also on entrepreneurship and working with small businesses, and then, led the city's economic development, neighborhood development, community development function under Mayor Emanuel, and then obviously doing economic development writ large at WBC, where we also worked a lot with small businesses. So I've been working with entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs of color, for a long time, and know that one of the major challenges they face is access to capital, but also having and related to that is, the thing that underlies that access to capital isn't that there's not capital out there, which but as you've experienced as a woman entrepreneur, is that people tend to not take them seriously. So venture capital, even private equity, is about risk. And majority-owned capital investors, oftentimes don't want to take risks with entrepreneurs of color. So Don Thompson at Cleveland Avenue, our CEO and founder, who has already 2 other funds focused on food and beverage and related technologies, started raising a fund to focus on Black, Latinx, and women entrepreneurs. And he asked me to come and be the managing partner for the fund. And it was very aligned with what I had been doing, but actually on the side of having resources as opposed to having to run around trying to find resources for entrepreneurs. So to be able to actually have dollars to invest in businesses and to be doing it at a Black-led company, and to be in a space where there are not a lot of Black investors was really exciting, and for me a really next step in my career.
Yeah, before we get into more about CastUs, which I do want to go into, I wanted to say a couple of things. And one is that we are doing a special live, our first live TechRise competition with the Urban League in a couple of weeks. So I didn't realize that connection originally, but it feels like it comes full circle and we're all connected. So, I mean, Cleveland Avenue as an organization has been around for a bit, but the fund that you got brought on to lead, CastUs, just had a massive announcement. So maybe you can give a little bit more details about the kinds of businesses you're looking to fund and how big it is.
Sure. So we launched CastUs in March. It's a $70 million fund, and we are looking at we are generally not doing seed or startup funding. Most of our companies, we're looking for companies that have been around for at least a year or two, have some minimum, typically $250,000 to $500,000 of annual revenue. And really the way we look at it is it's early growth stage. So companies who've proven their concept, have some revenue, are at that next phase where they really need to grow and expand. They need additional resources, people or space. And we can provide that capital. We are, unlike Cleveland Avenue funds, which are focused on food and beverage, we are sector agnostic. So currently in the fund, we have 8 companies. They include a couple of food companies, but we include a couple of tech-related companies in the healthcare space. We have a company that's in the food space, but provides a platform to help companies manage repairs. We have a services company. And so we are really open to any sector that we're aiming to have 75% of the fund go to Black or Latinx founders, 50% of the fund be women founders, and 75% of the dollars are going to be in Chicago, where they are either investing in businesses that are headquartered on the South and West Side, or businesses that have founders that come from there, or where their work is impacting those communities and expanding opportunities in those communities.
It's such a critical resource for our city. And so I know that across the city, we're grateful and sending people your way. And TechRise is just kind of, these founders are early, so hopefully they'll be ready for you in a year or so. But can you, for the people that are watching, can you say how much the check sizes are, and do you guys lead rounds?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So we do, and we are looking for low single digit, double digit equity in the company. Our check sizes range from $500,000 to $2 million, but we have done some convertible debt as well as straight equity investments. That's
great. One of the things that I experienced, and if we don't mind, I'm going off script, but that I experienced as a founder, and I know to be true with my, Latin peers and Black peers, is that often it takes us so long to get through those early funding stages that, we can look like a 2 or 3, 4-year-old company, but only have the metrics of a seed stage company. And so the fact that this is less of a question, a little bit more of a statement, but I'm curious how what you're seeing in terms of deal flow, because the companies that have the grit to be able to withstand those first few years, whether they're like me waiting tables at night, or they have, a second job or whatever. How do you guys evaluate that? Because normally, the Silicon Valley perspective is you need to have quit your job, be all the way in, and you need to be like rocket ship within 10 months. And that isn't the reality of most Black, Latinx, or women founders. So I'm curious how you guys evaluate that momentum differently.
Yeah, I think for us, momentum is obviously important, but really we're looking for traction. Where we're starting. And so whether that traction took 6 months to generate or 2 years, we're looking for the shows that this is something that you've invested in and that is working. And that, so when we put the growth capital in, and that you have an idea around how you're going to use the growth capital, that you've got a plan and a thought that we can help you execute on, because that's the other thing is the Cleveland Avenue writ large strategy and philosophy. We support our businesses. We make introductions to potential clients and other partners. We help provide, we have a consulting arm at Cleveland Avenue, so we can provide support if people are struggling with supply chain or operation. So our objective is to not just put money into companies, but to help them grow. That's what we're trying to do. So the momentum is great. And obviously over, our time window is 10 years on our investments. And we like, and certainly we'd love to have a company that goes, blows up in a year or two. If we get 1 or 2 of those, that'd be great. But really what we're trying to do is to is make sure we have companies that have traction. So if we put the money behind them, they really can then build and grow and be that source for them, as you know, of companies that really are ready to grow. But to your point, they haven't had, they don't have time. They don't have the relationships to go running around to a lot of different investors to pitch their story. And that's oftentimes what it takes. And that next check, by the way, is bigger, right? A $500,000 check is a lot different than a $50,000 check. And so it's harder to get people to step up to do that. So we're seeing a fair amount of, we've seen some great companies in pipeline. We've seen a few terrific companies here. You have a lot of early stage companies here, but you've had some companies that have been a great fit for us at Cast Us and that we are talking to. So I think our goal is to build the ecosystem of Black, Latinx, and women and like companies here that are on a path to grow.
Yeah, that's incredible. And one of the things that we hear a lot is that founders of color and women often are solo entrepreneurs because they, recognize a problem that the co-founder community might not, recognize right away. So I'm curious what your perspective is on solo founders.
I think, solo founders are great. You can't grow a company over time without a team.
Yeah.
And so that's really I don't think you have to have, a giant team walking in the door. Sometimes you just need the idea, but if you're going to grow, this is that whole idea around, CEO being the worker bee and doing everything and being a CEO. There's a difference, and it's just impossible. Now, many of the companies that we have in our pipeline, they started out as solo founders or one or two people, and one of the things we're helping them do is build and expand their team so that they can do the things they need to do to lead and grow their company.
Yeah, that's great. Getting a lead investor at that stage when you're at 200K, 300K in revenue a year can be really tough, especially if you haven't had the quick momentum. So the fact that you guys are playing a lead check writer is critical. And I hope that, our VCs and angels that are watching right now are writing partner checks alongside your lead investment to help close out those rounds quickly, because the pace of closing the round is also another factor that really can hold back founders of color. You might get a lead check, but if you can't close the rest of the round to get to the actual money in the door, it can be a challenge. So thank you for playing that role, and hopefully we'll see more funds like you stepping up. I can say that I've had some friends come in and pitch you, and they've had really incredible experiences. And having worked with your team now and understanding the way you're thinking about support with Brittany Robbins and her work there too. Right. And so I just want to say wonderful job. And the word is getting out and founders are getting confident and looking forward to meeting you. But for the people who haven't figured out how to reach out to Cast Us, what's the best way for founders to apply?
So the best way is we have a website, and in fact, I already put in, I'm just going to press send now, a link to our website. So I just put it in the chat.
Okay, and we'll add it to the live stream too after this. So.
On the website, there's a link you can go in. The question's kind of weird. I think it says something like, would you like to learn more? It doesn't even say learn more. Whatever it says, there's a clear link that says, ask you have questions about finding additional partnering for additional revenue. Click on that and you'll put in some information. It'll go to my team, and that's the best way to do it, because that's what enables us to track us. Because sometimes when people email me directly or they email Jason Mercer, our director of portfolio, directly, we have so many other things going on that gets lost in the sauce. But if you put it in the fill out the form on the web page, we're required to pay attention to it. It comes up so on a regular basis, and we can't lose you. So and it'll ask you some questions just to confirm that you're going to fit our criteria. So
okay, so they're still deliberating. So I want to say, ask one more question. Is there anything that you've learned from the experience so far of meeting with these founders that you didn't know from your previous work? Anything that you kind of discovered as a new takeaway or insight?
I think, one thing is really just that and I knew this, but I think also talking with people, one is there are really still tremendous barriers. I mean, it's hard to be an entrepreneur, period. It's just a tough space, and to convince people of your idea and to get people to back it. But it's very hard for entrepreneurs of color and women. It is just getting that, the backing. So that's the negative. The upside is that there's more and more people stepping up into the space, in the last year, and I'm certain you've seen this through TechRise. In the last year, more and more investors are coming, funds are coming into the space. Investors at larger funds are starting to pay attention. So there's more opportunity out there. So, and then the last thing is, and this I knew it wasn't a big news, it's just that really we need to support our entrepreneurs in helping them get ready to get the capital. Because the thing is with this capital is, it's an investment. It's not philanthropy. It's not a grant. It is an investment, and investors want a return. We don't necessarily all want, 20x return, but we want a return. And that means you have to be ready to talk about your business as a business. And sometimes entrepreneurs are so embedded in their business, they forget that it's a business. They're just trying to keep the doors open and get the money in to pay the bill.
I know, and they tell the whole story of how I got here, but they don't actually tell how they're going to make money. I know.
Exactly.
We see it a lot too, so we're trying to coach everyone, and there's definitely work to do. Unfortunately, our friends at 1871 do a great job with the pre-accelerators there to get people ready, and lots of us are working independently to mentor, which is an important part of TechRise, as you know. And to your point, I know we're over on time about not being a grant. TechRise is very intentionally a grant so that we can bring the dollars together, because we know that our friends who have dilutive capital can be there to help support the ongoing growth. That's not our role. We're really like the rich uncle that doesn't care about if they get their money back. That's the role we're trying to play. Or aunt, I should say. Maybe aunt is a better word now.
Which we all wish we had, but too many of our founders do not, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's so great.
I certainly didn't.
So great that you're in this space.
Thank you. Also, judges and founders, please come back on. I know we're over. It was such a great time talking with you, Andy. Thank you for everything you're doing in our community. All right. So it looks like we have almost everyone. Obai, can you come back on? Yeah, and then, yep. Okay. Well, he's not on yet. There he comes. All right. So who's announcing for us today?
I'll announce the winners. So exciting, you guys, founders. You killed it today. Loved all of your presentations with data and metrics and stories. And it was very, very, very difficult to choose the winners, but we're so excited to quickly announce them. So coming in at first place, winner of $25,000 will be Sanctum, Bobby Price.
Woo! Congratulations.
And we also just wanted to congratulate everyone who this is your second time. And we also were just chatting about how much improvement that we've seen, that was seen through your presentations, and we hope you come back. In second place, we have Marcus Literacy Project, Robbie, with $10,000 awarded to you. Keep going. You nailed it. And in third place, we have $5,000 each for Brown Girl Project, Box Lunch Cafe, and Equiticity.
Equiticity. Yes.
Equiticity.
Congratulations. Wonderful. And I want to hear from Bobby in just a second. So unmute if you would. But I do want to share that, like, when I was starting Give Forward, we got our first ever outside investment of $5,000, and it went really far and meant a lot. And so I hope everyone knows that this is us believing in you, and that we can't wait to bring you back on. And hopefully, like, Bobby will come on and win first prize. But Bobby, you have anything you want to add? It's okay. You're emotional. We're right there with you. It was a
Congratulations, Bobby.
Amazing. So much impact, guys. Can't wait to see you out there, North Lawndale.
Thank you, Bobby. Congrats.
Thank you,
Robbie. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you as always to Verizon for helping make this happen in the first place, and a special thanks to the Staines and Morrison Foundations today for the generous prize money that we were able to distribute to so many founders. So we'll be back next week, and have a wonderful weekend, and go Sky.
Great job, guys.
Thanks. Great job, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.